All right, thank you everyone for tuning to Embrace Life. I'm your motivational strategist, Regina Harrell, and this Saturday we are having our special ladies come in from Beyond Sisters here to close out our new year. I get to get us ready for our new year. So, would you guys like to introduce yourselves and tell a little bit about what you do?
Mamie, and I'm part of Beyond Sisters at Zion Chapel Church in Aden.
Hi, I'm Wanda, and I'm a part of Beyond Sisters. And this is our vision to have an outreach ministry for women to address those topics and to talk about those things that we know we all encounter in our spirit and in truth. And we're here today to talk about battered women and abused women. So we're going to talk about some domestic violence.
All right.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to get some statistics out of the way. And then we can see about where we are as pertaining to battered and abused women.
Mm-hmm.
On an average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During the year, this equals to more than 10 million women and men. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. So what is that saying? What does that say to you?
Is way too much going on with saying to me, and I'm glad that you pointed out the issue about the men being battered as well, because they don't talk about that as much as they do the women. And maybe because we communicate more than the men do.
Mm-hmm.
So they hold in their stuff, but that's a lot of them.
It is a lot. It's really a lot. And so looking at battered women, since we're talking about battered and abused women,
Mm-hmm.
what do we look for in battered women? What do they look like? What are some things?
Personally, I think they look like all of us. They look like you, me. They look like, all of us, because, it's not necessarily a sign on your back or, someone that's walking around, with bumps and bruises. A lot of times we try to portray that we got it all together, but when we, secretly know that we're in silence, when we're having to deal with psychological, emotional, sexual, and physical, so abuse comes in so many different forms and fashions. It can really look like, the average citizen.
Right. And so to me, I think those battered women are moody, depressed. They just seem like they're spaced out. They can't stay focused.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's
that could be some of the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
That would be some of the symptoms that you will see, but generally you will kind of have to know what you're looking at before you can understand what it really is. Mm-hmm. Because again, abuse comes in so many different forms and fashions. And one of the things that we have come to realize is that when people are in abuse relationships, not only do they encounter depression, anxiety, or eating disorders, but they also encounter long-term chronic diseases such as health problem, high blood pressure, digestive problems. It manifests itself in a lot of physical health issues. So, our physical health is definitely connected to our emotional health.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we as women, and like you were saying, sometimes you have to, you don't batter and abuse women unless you see bruises on them. How do we reach out to those battered and abused women if you can't see the bruises? I mean, like you were saying, sometimes you can't see because they look normal just like we do, or they try to hide. But is there anything that sticks out when you see women that you can say, okay, I think this person is being abused? How do we, acknowledge that? How do we fix that? You know what I'm saying? How do we approach them?
I mean,
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say just have like a general conversation, something that's not even dealing with abuse. And a lot of times it just starts out with how you feeling. Are you okay today?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And
Mhm.
and that's what I was saying earlier, that sometimes you have to have, that eye, you have to have not just the physical eye, but sometimes we need the spiritual eye to understand what we're looking at. When you see the person that's, looking down, isolated, when their conversation typically consists of very few words, or their answer only what you ask, no type of elaborations, because that's the way of keeping people at a distance, and not allowing people in to really get to understand what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go on. Somebody had something?
Oh, I was gonna say, so pretty much a lot of times, because we don't always get that question, how you feeling today, or are you okay? A lot of people they become emotional hoarders. And I was one of those type of people, because I didn't have people ask me, how are you doing today?
Right. And a lot of times too, Regina, we can ask that question, and because sometimes it's a kind of rote question. People don't feel like you really want to know how they feel, so they tell you what they feel you want to hear. I'm good, I'm okay, I feel good. They can look the part, and then they put on that, that superficial kind of smile and say, I feel good, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to kind of listen to, sometimes for women, you have to listen to that emotionalness in the voice, in the tones, and just because I hear I'm okay, if I'm listening truly at my sister, I can hear that she's not okay.
Right.
So, why do you think abused women stay in a relationship?
Security.
Well, and that could be one of the things. And in my profession, I find that a lot of times, women, when they stay, they're groomed to stay. It's how it all got started. It's just like any other addiction.
Right.
It's how it all got started. He done groomed her, wined and dined, and to a degree, that psychological component, that uh I need him, he needs me, kind of thing. Even though it's unhealthy, it's something that I know and I'm familiar with, and I'm willing to hang on in there because I'm believing that it's going to get back to where it was, in the grooming stage. And so it's sometimes it's those kinds of things. And, and I find that to be true with a lot of the ladies that I, sometimes work with and have come across, even in my profession, they're groomed to stay.
Right.
They're really, it's a psychological component that's attached to it that a lot of times we just don't understand, because we're saying get out, leave, get out and leave. But that's easier said than done for them.
Well, see, that's why. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say that's why I said security, because at the end of the day, they are in this relationship that they really try to get out of, but because of, especially if it's a marriage, they don't want to go through the embarrassment, while their marriage is over, and then they don't want people, giving them the side eye and pretty much blaming them for being in a situation, and then thinking that this man is telling her, like you said, the grooming part, I'm all you got, so if you lose me, you lost everything. So it's like that type of turmoil plays a lot in a female's mind. And then you have to also look at the danger part of it, getting out safely. I was put in a position where I had to get out safely. I had to
Mhm.
pray my way out of that relationship because I
Mhm.
felt like if I let God handle it, it's well done. But if I did it on my own, I would still be fighting that battle right now, even though
Right.
we're not together.
Right.
Mhm.
That is so true. And you brought up a lot of good and interesting points because that is absolutely true. And sometimes we don't understand, the security part of it and to getting out safely. And that's why, it behooves me when we can just say, you need to leave.
Mhm.
But there's a lot attached to that,
Yeah.
and putting people in danger.
Right.
Mhm.
And that security, that is definitely one of them, because a lot of times, in that grooming process, he has set things up where the money is his, the house is his, the car is his, pretty much everything is his. And so, you kind of out there,
Yeah.
out there with,
And
nothing to lean on or depend on. And as bad as it may seem, at least I'm in a situation that I know and I'm familiar with, and you're asking me to leave and go to something I don't know. And I don't even know how to get started because I've never been out here on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Miss Regina, and look at the society we live in today. The minute, if it's a marriage, if it don't work, the woman is always blamed. What's wrong with you? You couldn't keep your husband. You couldn't keep your marriage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's exactly it. So she has to, really kind of be abused all over again in the society that we're in, because that's a form of psychological abuse too. When people try and make you feel like, it's all on you. The marriage failed because of you. And and some people tell you that, you only get one husband, so if he's beating on you, honey, you just go over there and you learn how to love and forgive, and you live happily ever after. That's hard.
But the crazy thing is, it seems like the abuse comes from the very ones that everybody respect.
Woo!
Yes.
Right. Yes.
So that's a battle in itself.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's right.
Wow. So the fear of leaving is greater than the fear of staying. That's why a lot of abused women stay in the relationship, because the fear of leaving is greater than the fear of staying. But like you were saying, you got to try and get out safe because you don't know what they are, what they're capable of doing. And, you're trying to get out and you don't know what you're going to face if you try to get out. You know what I'm saying? And fear of the unknown is powerful. It's really powerful. You don't know how it's going to end.
Especially if they know your schedule.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, those routines, and they definitely know them because they help groom it. So they definitely know them. So they kind of help set the stage for all of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that's
a powerful question, Mamie. Why do we think women stay? That's a very powerful question. I'm writing that down because that's something I think warrants some thorough exploring. So that we can be in a better position to help women to truly when we ourselves can be empowered to understand, all that's encountering in a person in that situation. Because we know God doesn't give us the spirit of fear.
Right.
We know that, but it is truly, kind of, as we just said, it's fearful when you think about trying to get out with somebody exactly what they're capable of doing. What they have been doing to you and how they have threatened and manipulated and done all kinds of things to you, and sometimes the children too.
Yeah. And then you, especially if that person is not even the father of those kids, you are now putting not just you but them in danger.
Yeah,
and it could be in endangerment of either him hurting them or them hurting him.
Right.
Because especially them kids love you and feel like you're on their side, they're gonna defend you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And see, that's another component of it. And that's why I was saying, I think that's that's a exploration piece right there that we could definitely use some information there to really improve on our methodology of helping people.
Mhm. And because the subject is so broad, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could take maybe more than one session to really cover and go in depth as to, all the different types of abuse that we as women, go through, you know. But, they say on average, a woman will make an attempt 7 times to leave an abuse before ending the relationship permanently, and sometimes the women don't get a chance to leave.
That's
They
true.
don't get a chance to get away.
Right.
It might end in a really negative way,
Mm-hmm. Or
And
they
when you
oh, go ahead.
and when you think about psychological abuse,
Mhm.
that's a horrible form of abuse. So
Yeah,
when exactly do women escape that?
exactly, because that's one of the worst type of abuse,
Exactly.
psychological, and that's,
Yeah.
you know,
So when exactly do we actually, do we ever get out of that? Because that's a bondage, psychologically, mentally, and emotionally that women continue to carry sometimes throughout their lives. When you're being told you're nothing, you're nobody gonna want you, you ugly, you this, you that, those kinds of things kind of resonate as tapes that plays over and over and over, in the mind.
Mhm.
People, listen. We make sure that our car insurance is paid every single month. We also go as far as making sure that our insurance on our phones is paid in case of a damage. But we forget about the most important thing, and that's to ensure our heartbeat. We cannot drive a car or talk on the phone without a heartbeat. Did you know that you can access 100,000 up to $1.5 million while you're still alive? With the right coverage, you don't have to die to access this money. LP Consultant Services offers free consultations, zero money down to get coverage on the most important part of your life, which is your heartbeat. LP Consultant Services are available to speak with you concerning possible coverages. Call Daniel Lyons and Evans at 984-249-9376 for your free consultation today. Act now, because tomorrow may be too late.
Are you tired of high interest rates on vehicles? Or you had it with being denied for credit cards? Make a big impact this season by investing in yourself with Lions Pride LLC. They specialize in credit repair, income tax, life insurance, retirement plans, and much more. Lions Pride LLC is a family-owned and operated company with over 10 years experience in finances. No monthly fees. They offer free consultation with a one-time upfront payment. If you are tired of being denied, call the Lions Pride at 919-464-6899. Don't delay. Call Daniel Lyons Den Evans today at 919-464-6899. Give yourself a gift and repair that credit.
That comes with, again, renewing of the mind, and that comes with studying and being connected to God and His Word, and having faith and belief, in what God's word says and who He say I am. So we have to bring women to that point of being able to walk boldly into the season of acknowledgement of who they are, who we are in Him.
So I have a quick question, Miss Wanda. How about the non-believers? The non-believers, what would you say to them? Because like us spiritually, we know who to go to, but they like, what if they don't know who God is?
And we encounter them as well, because non-believers, we don't personally take that approach. We take the approach, but in a different approachable manner. Not in the way of saying, we have to get our strength, you know, from within. We have to gather strength from one another. You know, we have to, you know, rely on those people, you know, that is out there to help us. You know, not necessarily saying, you know, God put people in our past to help us, but, you know, gathering strength from the sisters next to you. That's where Beyond Sisters come in too. Is because what Beyond Sisters do is, you know, we don't necessarily take, you know, the religious approach, but it's a spiritual approach, if that makes sense. Okay, to understand that, you know, we're in this together, and we are our sister's keeper, and we can draw strength one from another.
Right.
That type of an approach, you know, because we are sometimes the only Christ that people will see or know, if that makes sense. So we have to rely on that sometimes, as, you know, what we have to give to other people. We have to let them see us as the person that's they are experiencing and encountering, that's really truthfully there to help them, because people know when you're sincere.
Right.
Yeah, people know when you're sincere, and when you're really in there to help them. So we have to be that, you know, we have to believe, and we have to show them that we are believers in what we're saying.
Right.
Because they get connected to what we say we believe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we have to be approachable, you know,
Yeah.
to those people. We have to be approachable. They have to feel that they can approach us with their issues, you know, because if we, you know, send them a message that's like, you know, I don't want to be bothered with you, you know, you're not where I am or whatever, then you're not going to draw those type of people. But, you know, if we are approachable and make ourselves available to them, they will come, and then we can share, you know, the word of God, and, you know, help them to see that they are what God said that they are.
That's right. And once we are approachable, non-judgmental, acceptance unconditionally, you know, all those things of Christ, showing godly love, you know, being honest, you know, being true, you know, those kinds of things. And when we're unconditional, we're not judging, you know, and that's one of the things Beyond Sisters say, no judgment.
Yeah.
This a judgment-free zone right here, you know. So, you know, you come as you are, say it as you say it as you believe it, say it as you think it. You know, nobody can't tell you what you're thinking and feeling. That's how you say it. That's how you put it on the table. If it's raw, it's raw.
Right. And I'm glad you even brought that up too, Miss Mamie, because of the fact that that's not always preached in church.
Right.
So because it's not preached and stuff in churches, it makes it unapproachable, you know, for a person who's dealing with that to come to the pastor and say, this is what's going on. You know, because
that's
it's
exactly
not
right.
about.
That's right. It's not. You're so right. It's not
the whole subject of abuse and being battered is never talked about, particularly in a lot of the religious institutions. You know, it's a subject that had been swept under the rug for many years. And it's a subject even today that a lot of churches, as you stated, will not address.
Why do you think that's, I don't mean to cut you off, but and why do you think that's so? Why do you think they just took it and swept it under the rug?
Well, my personal belief is for many reasons. One being, it's in the church and it's in the pews, and it was never dealt with them. So nobody sees a need to deal with it with anyone else. Another reason I feel personally is that people don't know how to approach the situation. It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of understanding of how. And then another reason is I have worked hard to hide my own. And if I start helping somebody else, guess what? I reveal my own. And so I think, you know, it's a lot of fear, a lot of secrecy, you know, a lot of fear, like we said earlier, fear of being judged, You know,
Mhm.
I've been holy and upright in church all these years, and you know, I don't want to be judged with that. I don't, you know, I want to pretend that that didn't happen.
Man. So
Yeah.
that like you know, like you said, that's something, you know, that's real to talk about, because at the end of the day, you know, women, we go through a whole lot of stuff that we do throw that mask on.
Exactly.
And we
That's
just go
exactly
out there
right.
in the world, because for one, we don't want people in our business, for one.
Right.
And
Mhm.
then for two, we don't want people to look at us as being weak, because even in my situation, I was treated as I was the weak one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in the same token, I was trying to figure out how to get out,
Right.
Right.
you know?
And it's unfortunate you didn't have anybody to help you get out.
Right.
You know, that's
Get out.
very
Exactly.
unfortunate that you had to figure all of this out. You know, you're going through the abuse is one thing, and now I got to figure out how to survive on my own without, you know,
Mhm.
having a sister or having someone to help me. You
Right.
know,
Right.
and what I was going to say to that is, and that plays a big part in how we relate to one another as sisters.
Mhm.
See,
Right.
this abuse concept takes on its own identity in how we relate to other people
Yeah.
and our ability to establish relationships. I think Gina said it earlier, you know, the non-believers, you know, they
Mhm.
don't believe because a lot of times, you know, how can I believe when all of this is happening to me and I have no one to turn to?
Right.
Exactly.
And all these people say, you know, they so helpful and they are here for me and I have no one.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Man,
Wow.
that's a, you know, that's like a very touchy subject. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it just, I guess, bring about a change and stuff, and like some different resolutions, because we talk about losing weight, we talk about having more money, we talk about everything but building a healthier relationship in the country,
Relationship. That's right.
you
Yes.
know.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's all connected together. And, you know, this is a topic I think, you know, as Mamie said, you know, we could probably, you know, have a few sessions, you know, to really go in depth about, you know, the significance, you know, some of the experiences and how they impact or influence our lives
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the way we live. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we're living the way we're living because we have experienced what we have experienced.
Man. So I know that we're starting to run a little bit out of time and everything. So do y'all have like any tips or anything to give these women, you know, for the coming year, if they are facing this battered thing that they're going through?
Well, I have a couple, you know, if anybody out there that's going through anything, you know, just pick up the phone and call us Beyond Sisters. One can give that information on how to get in touch with us. You know, we can set up a time to talk. You know, we let them know that we're concerned about, you know, what you're going through, and we're there to just be supportive. You know, we can offer specific help, whatever. There's some specifics that you're having, we can offer that help to you, you know. And most of all, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, and don't play the, you know, the blame game, or don't feel guilty, you know, but it's really not your fault. It's not your fault.
Absolutely.
And if you want to contact us at Beyond Sisters, you can reach us at 1-855-377-5436. That's 1-855-377-5436. Or you may reach us at infinitybeyondsisters.com.
Golly, that was
Yeah.
a wonderful topic you guys picked.
Awesome.
Thank
And
you.
I think it was needed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So now we getting ready to close out. You know, I just pray everybody have a wonderful new year coming in and everything. So,
Amen.
mm-hmm.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody out there in Radio Land. And you may follow Beyond Sisters. We got a Facebook page. We have our website. You can look us up, and we have our YouTube. So don't forget to like us, subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you don't miss anything that we're doing. And we're excited about what's coming up in 2022. Stay tuned.